Bitcoin has undoubtedly been one of the biggest financial stories of 2013, and now the little currency that could has a big-time shopping partner in its corner. Overstock.com plans to become the first major online retailer in the U.S. to accept Bitcoin as payment. Could happen in just a few months. They are way ahead of the curve. Is it genius, risky, or both? Patrick Byrne is Overstock.com's CEO and chairman. Thanks so much for joining us. What's behind this decision?
Well, there are two reasons. One's business, one's philosophical. The business reason is I think there will be a market. People want an anonymous currency. People are so I think there is going to be a market. And if we're the first major retailer to be selling through Bitcoin, we should be snapping up the market. And then on the philosophical side, as you folks know, I'm a pro-freedom guy. I believe in limited government. And sound money is one of the things you need to limit government. That's why government, which is always trying to expand, goes for fiat currency. I'm an Austrian school guy, Austrian economics. We ultimately like gold because gold is something that's been for 5,000 years, has been growing at 2 or 3% a year, and government mandarins can't just create new gold. Well, Bitcoin has some of those virtues of gold. It's mathematically limited rather than physically limited, but it's mathematically limited to 21 million units. So I think as the U.S. continues to debase our currency, this will be a more and more viable alternative.
There was a lot in there that I have to ask you about. Let me start with the practicality of your website accepting Bitcoin. How are you going to do it? I mean, are you going to trade it out? Because it's so volatile. The practicality of it. Do you accept payment in Bitcoin and then are you going to convert it right away to dollars, or how are you going to manage it?
Great question. There's two approaches. One is if by the time we're accepting this, which we expect to be in a few months, or there may be a derivatives market which lets one hedge one's risk from Bitcoin back to dollars, in which we could do just like one can do any other currency, euros or yen against dollars. If it's not available by the time we go live with this, we will be just rolling out of Bitcoin every night, converting into dollars, so there is no fluctuation risk. I don't want to accept any currency risk, so to speak, with Bitcoin.
But I mean, you could make money on the side trading it as you're taking it as a currency. Have you hired someone in particular to manage, your Bitcoin portfolio as you take payments in it and you try and make the most of that?
We could, but we won't. That's not our business. I don't want to be making any directional bets on Bitcoin and trying to make any money on that. It's either got to be converted into dollars or we have some way of hedging out the fluctuation risk.
Okay, you are an outspoken critic of the Fed. I mean, we can hear that in there, that you don't like the way they're managing our money right now. What offends you the most? Sure. The most important, we laugh at the Soviet Union for trying to run a society with 23 million prices being set by government mandarins, but in our case, the most important price our civilization faces is the price at which we discount the future against the present, which are interest rates. In our case, that price is being set by central planners at a central bank called the Federal Reserve. It's been around 100 years. We're getting central planning-like results. I hope someday we wake up like the Soviets did and say, let's get rid of this central planning of this very key price and let it be market-oriented. Do you think, I mean, if you jump in and you do this ahead of, say, Amazon and other competitors, do you think that this gives you an edge?
Yes, there is some fraction of the market, albeit tiny now, that prefers to use Bitcoin, and we'll pretty much have we'll be the one-stop shop for them.
You have said that you think money is too important to leave in the hands of government officials. I mean, I don't know, do we have that much choice? Bitcoin is gaining a lot of traction, but it's still a teeny tiny fraction, and there aren't a lot of people that think we could go, in a big way over to Bitcoin.
Well, it's a chicken and an egg problem. People aren't going to go over because there's not many places you can spend it, many reputable places. But as more reputable places take it, there'll be more of an incentive for people to go over to it.
Yeah, interesting. Patrick, thank you so much for coming on. Will you come back as you're getting close to launching this so that we can check in and see how the logistics are working out?
Absolutely, Melissa. It's a pleasure to see you.
Okay, great. Merry Christmas to you.
You too.
So earlier this week, Ben Bernanke